Hello, Joker time. I actually think Joker is the best character in the game. Most people will disagree with me on that and they think Cetrion is the best character in the game. I think it's Joker because of the reasons I will talk about in this video. I will say though that if Cetrion zones him, yes, she can beat him, but as soon as he closes the distance, he's gonna smash her. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. Okay, Joker is a character that wants to play in the neutral. He wants to be here. But if he happens to be here, he's fine too. I would say his only weakness is being full screen. So he has a high projectile. If he amps it, it becomes a mid. It goes full screen, but it's slow. So, I mean, you're not really going to catch someone on that. You're just going to get some chip damage from the block attack. But anyway, so he has great mobility and like ultra high damage and very high unbreakable damage too. And the unbreakable damage is this one here. So I'm going to put him on breakaway fast. And by the way, I think that you need Kapow. Like Kapow was with variation 3 when it was before customs, and we didn't really see that move used a lot. People preferred like the Jack in the Box where you kick the trap, but now it's changed for some reason, even though this move hasn't really changed itself. But anyways, the meta is now this move with something else. Like you can have the trap, the down back one, the Jack in the Box again, the one that you have to amp to make it a trap, and the reason why is against for traps, but I think it's mostly used for higher damage, but I prefer to just use other abilities. As long as I have Kapow, I'm good. So okay, let's look at that high unbreakable damage. So going like this and then get an uppercut in. 269 unbreakable, and there's the mind game of doing an armor breaker. That's what you get for breaking 415 damage. It's actually pretty tight, the timing, if someone breaks fast. But usually people don't break as fast as an AI. So it's tight. And let's say they don't break. Like that's not the combo that I use. I don't use a down 2 combo. But if they don't break, you have a couple options, right? So you can just do double down 2. Look at how easy that was, 340. It's easy to execute. The timing's a bit tight though. $341. I know there's another combo route, but that's the one that I do. $348. So that's the combo that you can only do with the jumping jester. Keep calling it that, like the Jack in the Box. So yeah, so that's the extra damage. What if we amp it? So it looks like when you amp, it whiffs. Interesting. Let me try it again. Yeah, so it whiffs when you amp it. When you don't amp it, it doesn't whiff. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, it looks like when you do the far one amplified, for some reason it doesn't touch. I might be wrong on that, but based on how I'm trying to do it here, it doesn't work. Like this is not a combo I usually do, but this is the combo that I think Sonic does usually, just because I find that getting the standing one in is a little bit difficult. But even let's say you amp it, so when you don't get your little guy in, you get to 320 damage instead of 348 damage. So you can use it as a trap though, so let's use it as a trap. Okay, and then it's still your turn, you got pressure, but it's resource intensive. So there's that, so that's 348 damage. That's what that damage... It's really high. For 1 bar, 348, so let me show you the one that I do. And I think mine is more of a B&B, it's more... You're less likely to drop it, it's more consistent. I actually think it does more damage, so let's look at that. It might not, maybe I'm just misremembering. Yeah, mine does more damage, 351, and it is easier, way easier. But the only thing is that if they break away, you don't get that unbreakable damage. That's the issue. So I'm gonna do it the way that I usually do it. I wait for them to come to me. It's only 179. That's like 100 less almost. Right, that's 269. So what I would recommend is when they have bar, go for the Sonic combo, or the combo where you put a down 1, a down 2 in. But when they don't have bar, don't do that hard combo. Do the combo that I just did, the 1-2-1 and then 4-2-1 and 2 boxing gloves again. So if you don't have the Jack in the Box, but you still want to do the down 2 combo, what I would do is this. You just do 1, 2, and 2 boxing gloves at 341 damage instead of 348 when you do 1, 2, 3, and 2 Jack in the Box. Which, you know, so if you have that Jack in the Box, that's what I would do. I would just do the down 2 into 1, 2, 3 Jack in the Box. No, not that. Not the bad one. Otherwise, do what I just showed you. But enough about combos. So let's talk about more stuff. More fun stuff. So, back, forward, 4. This thing here. You're gonna have to use that often. Ideally, what you want to do is you hit, you do 2, 1, and you look carefully, 4, 2, 1. And if it blocks, then you do back, forward, 2. Right? It's -2. Look at this range. And if someone wants to run at you, you just have to hit them. And from here, you might not even need the backdash, actually. You might just be able to throw something at them because it's only -2 or -3. But there are 2 versions of the Jack in the Box thing. The neutral resetter. This one, -14. And then this one, -3. So when it bops on the head, you can visually see it goes up, then bops. Then you're going to be able to move around. And when it's too close, and it hits him, like, it doesn't have to bop, it just like hits him while it comes out, then you're -14. So you can't be moving here. You have to be very careful. Now, there are ways to beat Joker when he does it like this, but most of the time you should be okay. Something to be aware of. This doesn't always work against all characters. Like the 1, 2, 3, and 2 Jack in the Box. Like I'm going to show you against Cetrion, for example, it whiffs, which is crazy when you think about it. Okay, so she's blocking here. Look at this. It goes behind her. So you're going to get punished for this. I think for 1, 2, 3 it does that as well. Yeah. Probably not with this one. Okay, this one bobs the head. Very good. And obviously not for 2. So make sure that when you fight characters that can duck your neutral resetter, that you don't reset neutral, obviously, or you don't try, because even when you amp it, oh my god, it goes over her. It's not just Cetrion. There's a couple more, I think, but she's one of them. So I said that you can do this. You don't even have to really move and then just hit someone that tries to come in, but if they're really aggressive really fast and they have nice long ranging moves like Cetrion, you could do something like this. You move around and then you hit. You moving around with Joker is very effective because he's so fast. He is so incredibly fast. Just his normal dashing is really good. Yeah, movement is good, so it means that every time you reset neutral, I want you to be moving, usually backwards. You freak people out with your movement. Forward 1 is like extremely hard to react to, even though it's -8, which is very surprising, and the movement is fluid. It's very interesting. I don't know why it's like that, but anyways, staggering the forward 1 is pretty interesting. When you stagger forward 2, it's 0 on block, right? So that's an advantage for you. What is standing 2? It's... Did I say standing 2 for this one? I meant forward 2. Standing 2 is -3. Interesting. And when you stagger it, it's not a good stagger. -12. -3 is actually pretty good. I usually consider things that are like -2 and under, being like -1, 0, to be extremely good staggers. And -4 is like what I usually consider to be like the limit. When it comes to more minus moves, you probably don't want to use them. It depends on the animation. Like this one, like I said, is -8. But the animation for some reason makes it pretty good to use. Even this stagger, the back 3, -14. And the movement is fluid, because usually the rule of thumb is if there's a gap in the movement, it's going to be a good stagger. If there's no gap, like now I know there's a gap. Gap in animation, I mean, not gap in as a flawless block gap, but gap in animation where he takes his turn and then hits. You see how he's like, That was a small gap in animation, because then you have to look, and it's a little bit hard to see if they're actually going to be staggering or not, because the stagger looks a little bit like the pause that they take when they complete the string. But anyways, this is a fine stagger. It's not the best though, so you have to be a little bit careful with this stagger. And then when you complete it, make sure that you be careful, because there's a gap, flawless block gap, but you can always try to reset neutral like this. Just know that this is going to be the -14 version, not the -3. But it's a good way to interrupt people trying to take advantage of your gap. Down 4 is like one of his best abilities. He has to be It has to be one of the best down 4 in the game, other than, I don't know, maybe not the best. Like, Frost, Cetrion have amazing down 4s, but like this is like top of the line down 4, along with these other two. Especially against characters that have highs and need to come in to hit you, and you just do this. Like, this is how you beat Sonya. You just keep spamming this. Sonya can't do anything. It dodges her projectile, other than if she amps. And she can't get a hit in. And be careful though, it's a little bit minus. So you often see, like, it's actually punishable from here. The pushback is not good compared to other down 4s. And it's minus 13, so make sure you use it like from here, right? Or, if you're here, you can reset neutral. Again, minus 14 instead of minus 4, so be careful. I actually like the puppet parry. We don't use it, we don't see it often, but I usually use it after pokes and stuff like that, just to keep things interesting. I love parrying stuff. Let's look at some of his other stuff. Oh yeah, Boing, I've made a video on this already, but essentially this is a tool for pressure. For pressure or to close the distance. It's like upgraded, but not as good, I guess we can say. Like, I'm not even sure why it would be not as good. It's just not as used. It doesn't cost anything. Like, it might even be better than upgraded. Upgraded sleep. Because look, you can do close, far, whatever, and it doesn't cost anything. Now, just a quick tip. When you whiff, you don't jump on her. You jump in the air. You want to make sure that you always punch or kick before landing, because the recovery is much less. Otherwise, look at how slow that recovery is. 52 recovery compared to 27 recovery. So make sure you do that. And I would recommend, like, you can combo into this, obviously, like a jump attack, this combos, or you can simply do jump kicks. You're going to get less plus frames. You're still going to get some plus frames though. And you can actually convert from this by doing forward too. And Joker can like catch you from the sky and then convert into a combo. I mean, this would work in the corner. I might just need to practice this move a little bit, but either way, even if you don't amp, look at this damage from here. So that's one of the abilities that he has. I think it's good. Obviously, you've seen the trap one, right? And the way I play Joker now is I always have the launcher. I always have this, and then I add another ability. For most of them, like, I'm going to show you another ability which takes 2 slots, so you can't have Kapow at the same time. But yeah, you see this one. It's for setups, and you only use this if you want to actually do setups. You can use it for damage, like I showed you at the start of the video, or you can simply... And by the way, there's like high corner damage. I don't specifically remember the video because that's not... I don't really use that for the corner. Like, I have my own BNB in the corner, which I'll show you now, actually. Might as well. I only spend 1 bar because 1 bar and 2 bar, the only difference is 20 damage. So I do this. $374. $393 when you do double amp. There might be another more damaging route. I know there is with this one. I don't remember what it is, and I don't care because I use the 1 bar BNB and I'm satisfied with that damage. If you are having issues, you know, with the jump 2 and stuff, you can do something super easy and very highly damaging. So here it is. So that's 2 bar, 373. If you just want to use 1 bar, just do a standing 4 into Kapow, and then look at this damage. Almost 300 for a super easy combo. So Joker is strong. He's very strong. Okay, Batsy Pew Pew. Usually what happens is that people are just gonna block this. But look at this chip. Look at the chip damage. It's like one of the best tools for chip damage. It hurts a lot. You can get away with it though by jumping out of it. So let me show you. So it's gonna do that. You jump forward. And I messed up my timing. Here you go, now I'm here. It's a punish for me. It's actually pretty hard. Maybe not. I mean, Cetrion would be fine here, right? Or even like if she stays in the air. Maybe not. Like this, maybe. Should be fine. Yeah, you don't want to do this against Cetrion. It's gonna be a bad time for you, but against other people, yeah, they're just gonna want to jump like this twice and they're gonna be fine. So that's a counter. I mean, if you want some chip, and if they don't expect it, you could do something like this. Just be careful. I think there's a gap here. What's the cancel advantage? 14. What's the startup? 20. There's no gap. Wow, interesting. It looks like there should be. Let me try to... Interesting. The frames say there's no gap, but then there's an obvious gap. So, okay, be careful. When Joker is in Fatal Blow territory, he's extremely dangerous. He can erase your life because of his Fatal Blow cancel. I said Fatal Blow cancel. Which, by the way, the way you want to do it, you want to tap right trigger, left trigger at the same time, hold it, then let go of right trigger while keeping your finger on left trigger. So right now I'm only holding left trigger. You know, so you see it's how it's still holding, and then you want to walk forward. And that's how I do my cancels, because otherwise you might do this, right? You block after. So because you have to let go of block and let go of left trigger at the same time, if you're gonna use it the way if you're not gonna use my technique. Like, I'm so used to it that I keep holding left trigger. Yeah, this is too hard. So what I do is keep your finger on left trigger the whole time. It's fine. Like, you can even combo. My finger's on left trigger right now. It doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, he's dangerous because this is like guaranteed pressure. Even on block, like this here, you can't poke out of this if he does. And I'll show you. See, I try to poke. You can't. But we know that it combos, right? So the gap is like super tiny to the point where it allows a combo in it. So we don't really know what the startup actually is. When we look here, come on, do it. Yeah, it doesn't tell us. And when we're in the combo, it doesn't tell us either. Why did it tell me 38 last time? Okay. 37 this time. No, it doesn't tell me anything. Interesting. What is this game? So when I'm far, it tells me. When I'm close, it doesn't tell me. Interesting. Anyways, so there's no gap. So let's try... I wonder if there's a gap. Does it combo after 1, 2? It combos there too. I think it combos everywhere, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Not there. So yeah, the mind game here is that you have to face pressure between another forward 1, which will lead into full combo, or into a forward grab, which will lead into a crushing blow. And your nut's gonna be cracked out here, but I'm not gonna do it because I want to stay monetized. That's the thing. And then sometimes you see Jokers doing this, right? So like my friend does this to me sometimes. He jumps over you. It's like the cracked out version of the cancel. Then he crosses you up. And then you have to guess if he's gonna grab you. If he's gonna do this and do this, or if he's gonna do this and do this. And you're not like, you could anti-air him. Like, let me anti-air him. But you can, but it's like a reaction thing. Right? If you know he's gonna do this, it's not, sorry, it's not a reaction thing. It's not a reaction thing. It's more of a read, or because if you just react and you expect something else, you know, he might hit you just like this by the time you react. So if you make the read, you wait until he's right across your center line, and here we go. That's an NTR on cross-up. That's how you NTR cross-ups. You only punch when they're across your center line. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, another thing, 4-3. You know that, you know, if you get caught by the overhead, it's gonna be a crushing blow, right? So let's see. What's the trigger again? Triggers if second hit of the combo is the first to connect. Okay, so usually it's like this, and they hit you, bang, if it connects, and crushing blow. Another thing too that you see Jokers do, since it's only -2, Jokers are usually gonna try to get a poke in. So be aware, after Joker does that, make sure you absolutely poke him. Don't do a high. So yeah, I think Joker is pretty straightforward. You want to be here, and if you're here, then you use your auto shimmy. Not sure if we can call it... I think we can call it an auto shimmy, because this looks like this. So let's say it's an auto shimmy. A super hit confirmable 3-hit move auto shimmy, which leads to an crazy unbreakable damage. So when he's here, you want to use 1-2, and you want to use forward 1. That's the mid, so people don't have an incentive to OS block you, which OS blocks means you don't block, and then you block as soon as after they've thrown the high, to make the high, to defend against the high and make the grab whiff. But they're not going to do this because they're going to get opened up by this, which allows you to get some free grabs in. Thank you very much. There you go. And you want to be here. You see it on block. you reset neutral, you backdash, so make sure you backdash and bait people, because that's what you want to do as a Joker. So for example, you can train this by doing random combos. You hit, it's on block, you reset neutral. So on block, reset neutral, and it's gonna be like this forever until I get what I want, and here you go. It's a similar input, back forward 4 for the neutral resetter and back forward 2 for the combo, so it works really well. I do this and my fingers are already doing back forward, and I'm waiting to see. I do this, back forward, and then if it's the block, I do this. So regardless, like, it's not a completely different input, right? So it makes it a little bit easier, because you're always going to do back forward anyways. So yeah, so that's really a good way to make a character strong, have the inputs be the same, you know, slightly different for block or for hit, which is something that we don't talk about enough, but it really makes a difference. I'll say the same thing with Cetrion, right? Cetrion on block, you want to do, let's say you want a wall, you do down back 1, and if you want to hit confirm, down back 4, it's always down back, so your fingers are, the only difference is the 2 inputs, which makes a move so much stronger, I think. Just easier to execute. Okay guys, that's it. Make sure that you stay here, and make sure that you dash in and freak people out. Make sure that you backdash if someone's aggressive after you reset neutral to fall into your trap. This move, this stick, is super strong. It has no hurt box, so use forward 2 and standing too often forward 2 even more. Just know that it's a bit slower, 13 frames compared to 9 frames. Okay guys, that's it. Like and subscribe. Peace.